Hi there, my name is Corijn Huizer and I welcome you to the channel of Intensio. Intensio is the name under which I give my Akashic Record sessions. Akashic Record sessions are very much energetic work where I tune into the energy of someone else and I get all types of information out of it. And I bring that back into a session with the client. Now, the beauty of this is that I really can make a combination of this energetic knowledge and daily life practice. So it's very much a combination where spirituality and groundedness come together into one. What I want to do is in this channel is that I will answer questions that I get asked over and over again, so that there will be a place that people can look up these questions and actually look into my answers. And people who don't know me, they will get a first impression on who I am, how I speak, what I do, and can sense into my energy to see if that vibrates or vibes with them or not. So for today, I will be answering 3 questions. The first one will be, what is it that I actually do? So I will give a bit more in-depth look at how this works and what it can mean for you. The second question will be, is this work also suitable for children and teenagers? And the final question will be, what use is it to know my blueprint? So just to give you a small hint, the blueprint is where I often start with my work. And it gives insight on who you are on soul level, so across everything you have been learned or conditioned into. If you are interested in also asking me questions, I give a free monthly Q&A call, and you can sign up for it at my website at www.intensio.io, and the link is also below the video, and it shows both when the next Q&A call will be, and it also shows a subscription form, and if you subscribe to the newsletter you will also stay up to date on when the next Q&A call is and receive an invitation for that. And I really hope to see you on the next Q&A call. Alright, so the question is, what is it that I actually do? So over the last few months, I followed a course called Soul Realignment. So I'm a certified soul realignment practitioner. With soul realignment, I learned how to access the Akashic record, both of myself and of others, and how to ask the right questions, because it's an energetic connection. And the beauty of this energetic connection is that I connect to you beyond what you think you know of yourself. So the thing is this. In human life, we get conditioned a lot, all the way from birth to where you are right now. We get told things are true, things are false, things are right, things are wrong, and how you should act in certain situations and how you should be. And most of the time, especially as children, we conform to that. And not everyone starts to break free from that and goes on this journey to find who he or she truly is below all these layers of conditioning. We also have a very strong aspect of what society tells us, what is right and what is wrong, and how you should be or should not be. And this means that on top of everything we already are layers stacked upon through which we interact with the world. And these layers are actually not ours. So what I do with the Akashic record work is that I go straight through these layers to your source, to your core, so to speak, to your soul, and I connect with you right there. And I give you information from this very core, this fundamental piece of yourself, and I bring it back to you. And this goes in all different ways, shapes, and forms. So I have different sessions for different circumstances and different questions, different intentions. Because your intention actually decides which information I will get for you. So it's not me that is deciding, it is you. And I get that from you in an energetic view, and I give it back to you. So this could be about, hey, what is my purpose in life? Or how can I know that I am on the right track? Or I'm really running into the same situation over and over again and I don't know how to get rid of it. That's a very good one for Akashic record work. Or I'm very curious, why am I in a certain relationship to someone else? And it doesn't even have to be a romantic relationship. It can be father-daughter, loving relationship, child, parent in any form. So I can really get into the energy of what is going on between two people. And of course, it's also very, very nice to actually get some kind of either confirmation, like, oh wow, I really knew, I actually knew this, but now that I hear this very directly, it really helps people to step into their own power. It is really a lot about personal power and freedom, for me at least, because we have an immense amount of freedom to choose every single day what we are doing with every choice we make again and again. And all these choices have a certain energy. It's not even about what you are doing, it is about with what energy, where does it come from, what you are doing, which immediately gets reflected by how we experience life. So the first thing I often start with is a blueprint session, and I will talk about it a bit more in one of the next questions. But I always start by making a blueprint of someone, and it shows which energy you carry into the world. I will go into that 2 questions further ahead. But yeah, this is what I do, and the thing is, I really love doing it. I would have loved if I would have gotten an Akashic Record Blueprint, for example, when I was younger, because it gives so much clarity, and it also gives a very comprehensive way of looking at yourself and checking in with yourself, which can actually help you for the rest of your lifetime. And next to that, I also have sessions available which are very much into certain situations, certain relations, willing to change your life, willing to meet or know more about spirit guides, and stuff like that. So it's a very broad way of interacting with the Akashic Records, and I really love doing this for people. Yeah. So one session that I want to give some special attention to is the realignment session. And the realignment, the word itself says it, is to get realigned with who you truly are. That's what it's really about. So the blueprint part is always a part of the realignment session, and you could do them either separate or together in one package. And the realignment session really goes into, hey, what is blocking me right now in my life from fully living the potential of my blueprint? That's really what it's about. And it's an immensely powerful way to do Akashic record work. And it's also, it has multiple facets. So it has the blueprint part, which I talked about a bit earlier, and I will also talk about in the further questions. And then it has a blocks and restrictions part. So I go into your Akashic record and I check all these types of blocks and restrictions that are withholding you in some way, shape, or form from fully living your aligned potential, your fully aligned being. And then we go into, hey, do you recognize them? Do you recognize these patterns in your life? And if not, where can you look for them? And then the most beautiful part is, for me at least, is to have a look together with you at, okay, we know who you truly are. We know where your blocks are at this moment, what patterns you are continuing, which are not beneficial to who you truly are. Now, which small steps can you make tomorrow to change these patterns, to dissolve and remove these blocks, and to get this much closer to your full potential and who you truly are? And there's also a lot of energetic clearing in this realignment session. So I thought it would be good to actually explain this one a bit more, because it's so essential in Akashic record work. And I actually I always suggest, if you want any of the other sessions, to actually go for a realignment session first, because it takes away so much of the blocks that are withholding you from living who you truly are. All right, so the question is Akashic Record work available and useful for children and teenagers? And the answer is an absolute yes. It is beautiful to be a parent and to look at your child from an energetic, soul level perspective. It really is. I am a father myself. I have a 9-year-old son. And about half a year ago, a little bit more, 9 months ago, I created the blueprint for my son, and I asked him if he wanted to know about it himself. He said yes, and we talked through it, and so many things are falling into place, and they still are. Because as I said, it's like a fundamental view into who you truly are, and it gives so much insight into why you are doing what you are doing, but also why certain things are not working for you. So that's for children. And I've been a secondary school teacher for 12 years. So I worked with teenagers a whole lot. And I really think we as a society undervalue the phases of puberty and teenagerhood. Because we they are so busy with finding out who they are. They are so working through all these difficulties between being a child and being an adult. And they see difficulty in, hey, I feel all kinds of stuff. Emotions are coming up very strongly for the first time they can really sense into them. And then next to that, there is this whole school system, educational system, and society and parents that are all expecting things from them, which in my view, really restricts them into exploring who they are. And I would have loved to give all my classes soul realignment sessions. That never happened, but I would find it truly beautiful if we don't only give them something that proves their intellectual worth, like, hey, you have achieved something intellectually, but also to recognize who they already are. And that's really what Akashic Record work can do. And I believe that it can truly help, especially teenagers who are looking for themselves, into getting an insight into who they are and gain clarity on where they can actually go explore, in what areas of life they can explore. And there's no good and bad in it, but there is something you have chosen to be as a soul, and that's how you incarnated here. So yeah, for teenagers and children very much. And also I think it makes Akashic Record work and energy work in general for teenagers becomes that much stronger if you involve them with it. So if you ask them, would you like this to be done for you? And would you like to talk it through? Would you like to do the session yourself, maybe even? That's even more powerful, because if a teenager who is really into starting to standing on its own legs feels the choice, makes the choice, and is actually recognized in the transition from a child to an adult, you empower them into really going for it, diving into it deep, and actually do something with it. Because if you are putting it on them as a parent, you have a big chance of they not doing anything with it. So to engage with them and engage them in the process, I think makes it a lot more powerful. And in general, it's very powerful for parents, children, and teenagers to all know each other's blueprint and have kind of a family view on who they are on soul level. So what I do think is important to understand that I always only do Akashic Record work with the correct permissions. So which means in this case for children and teenagers, it always has to go through the parents. I would never ever enter the Akashic Records of anyone without their permission, and in the case of children and teenagers, without the permission of their parents. That's very important, and it's something I will never abandon as a very set rule for doing what I do. Alright, so the question is, what use is it to have a blueprint from my Akashic Records for myself? So the first part that I always do with a new client is to enter them into a blueprint session. And the beauty of the blueprint session is that it gives you information on a few things. The first thing is that it gives you information on what kind of energy your construction actually exists. And this both has a positive and a negative polarity, as has everything in life. And the beauty is that I talk this through with you. So it's not like, hey, I got something for your Akashic record, this is who you are by. But we are sitting with each other. I have the information which I really share quite extensively with you. And then, of course, I ask to you, do you recognize these energies in your life? And basically, two things can happen. It's quite a wide scale. It can go from, I really recognize this, yes, I know this is who I am, to, okay, I don't recognize this part in me at all. And then we can talk through this, like, how do you experiment into this energy? And how do you observe the consequences? And how can you feel and check into it if that is actually something that fits you or not? Because here's the beauty. If you live your blueprint fully, 100% aligned, then you are abundant in time, energy, and money. Because then you are actually living who you have chosen to be. And the universe is abundant. I mean, look around us, look in nature. The universe itself is abundant, and we are also a part of this universe. So our natural state is actually to be abundant. And there are so many blocks and so many restrictions that it's incredibly helpful to just watch through them, get through them, and go to the source of who you truly are. And these energy descriptions, they are, how do you say it? They are wide enough, broad enough to not be dogmatic, and they are specific enough to take action on them, because that is really what I like. I would not want to give a session and say, hey, here you have a lot of energetic information, good luck with that. That's not how I work. I want to give you the information from an energetic point of view, and then I really want to get into what can you do with it. It's about doing. It's about making choices in life that change your experience and that can actually move you into transformation. So that's what the blueprint session really is for. All right, those were the first 3 questions for my YouTube videos. Thank you so much for watching. If you are interested in a session or you want to ask questions yourself, please connect with me through my website, which is www.intensio.io. And I really hope to welcome you on a Q&A session or on my next video. Have a beautiful day. Ciao.